Okay, so here is 1.5. And so we have solving equations and inequalities, and we're going to be doing it using a calculator. And so anytime you see an equation like this, we're just going to set it up individually. So this is going to be our first equation we put in, and then this is going to be our second one. So again, I'm going to put this one in, and then I'm going to put in this one separate. So I'm going to go to my calculator, and I had told you to download it or either to have a graphing calculator. So to put this into my graphing calculator, I'm going to hit the y equals. So again, I'm going to hit the y equals. It's right here. And then I'm going to type in the function. So I have negative 3x plus 20. So you have to hit the negative, not the minus, the negative, and then 3, and then the x is right here, right by the green button alpha. So right here, plus 20. And then I hit enter. And I enter the second one, which is 5. So I'm going to hit 5, enter, and then I'm going to hit graph. Right here, graph. And it's going to graph it for me. And when we're looking for the solution to systems like this, we're looking for where it intersects. So we're looking for this point here. And so we're going to hit second. And then this button says trace. When you hit the second, it's going to be the calc. So second, trace. And then we want to do the intersection point. So we're going to go down to 5. So you can use the arrows going down and then hitting enter, or you can hit the number 5. And then it's going to say first curve. You just want somewhere on this one of the sides here. So if we wanted to, we could find our point. And then we hit enter. And it's here now. We're going to hit enter again. And it says, do you want it to guess? Yes, we want it to calculate it. And you can see that it gives us an intersection of 5, 5. So this answer here is 5, 5. And that's your answer. And then we would just do the same thing for all of these. So one more, we would do, if we clear everything out just like we weren't in anything, we can do second and then this mode button to get out of the graph. So again, I did second mode. And now I'm going to go back to the y equals to type in these here. So I'm going to hit the y equals up here. And it brings me back this. I need to clear these out. So I'm going to go clear. I'm going to go down to the next line and I'm going to clear that one out. And then I went back up to the y1 and I have this absolute value of x minus 4. So I need the absolute value bars, and how you get that is hitting this math button underneath the green. So math. And then we want the absolute value. So we're going to scroll over to where from math to NUM. So we get to hit the right arrow right here. And then this one here, abs, is our absolute value. So we can hit enter, or you can hit the number 1, because that's the one we want. And then it's going to say abs, and we want the absolute value of x minus 4. So we're going to do x, again this one here by the alpha button, x minus 4, and then close your parentheses. That's the first one. Then we're going to go to the next one. And you could do in parentheses 1/2, or in this case we know 1/2 is 0.5, so I'm going to do 0.5. And then we have x plus 1. So plus 1, enter, and I'm going to graph it again. Okay, looking at this graph, I can see that it intersects here and it intersects here. So I'm going to have two answers here. So I want to be able to see this intersection point a little bit better. So I'm going to change my window of where I can see the graph. So I'm going to hit this button here, window. And we saw that we didn't need all of the stuff to the left. So I'm going to change this to like -5. And then I want to go out farther to the right though. So I'm going to do 15 and just see what that looks like. So I have all that. And then I'm going to hit graph again. And it moves the graph over. And now we can see those 2 points better. So now I'm going to do the intersection. So I'm going to do second, trace, and I'm going to do the intersection, so 5. And then this is where it matters where your cursor is. So we need to be on one side. So we're on this side here. And I went over there by hitting the left arrow. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then second curve. So I want to be on the other side. And hit enter again. And yes, we do want it to guess it. And so our first intersection point is 2, 2. So our first one is 2, 2. And then we know we have another one. And so we're going to do the same thing. Second, trace. And again, we want the intersection. So this one right here. Enter. And we're going to scroll over by using the button here to get closer here. Enter. And I'm going to go on the other side. Enter, enter, and it gives us 10, 6. And so those are our two answers for those. Okay, and then the try it ones I'm going to let you do on your own. You can check the PowerPoint for those answers. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and do this one here. So we want x squared minus 4 and 0. We're going to ignore the inequality sign at first. So I'm going to go back to my y equals, and I'm going to type in these functions. So x squared, so x is here. And then I want it squared, so I use the little caret button underneath the clear here, squared. And then I want it to subtract 4. And then my next one is 0. So I'm going to type in 0. I'm going to delete everything else, or you could have cleared it and hit 0. Enter. Graph. So here's the graph. And then that 0 is right here. And we want when this curved function, so this function, the x squared minus 4, so this one, is greater than the line here that we have. So we have two functions, this one and then this one here, and we want to know when it's this one is bigger than the one going horizontally. So it's going to be from here to here and here to here. And we would write that in interval notation. So we need to know what this point is here and this point is here, and then it would be just interval notation. So we know it's going to be negative infinity. And so again, we have negative infinity, and then we know it's going to go to, it looks like 2 here. We could do intersection as well. So we could do second, trace, intersect, and so let's see, where is our, there's our first one. So we want to go over here, there, and see how it's moving horizontally because it's on that 0 line? -2. So we're at -2. And then this one here is going to be at 2 to infinity. And again, you can check that by doing the intersection point again. Or if you remember from our quadratics that it's equal away from each other. So that is the answer here. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this one here, and then we will be done. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my y equals, clear everything out of here, and then I'm going to do x plus 3 on one side, and then enters. So the first equation it graphs, we want that one to be bigger because the alligator is eating it. So we want this one to be bigger, the first one it graphs. 7 minus 3x, enter. Graph, again, the first one it graphs is the one we want bigger. So this one is the one we want bigger. So when is this one bigger than the other one? And so starting here and then on, this one is bigger. So we need to know where that intersects. So second, trace. And again, we're doing the intersection. And we need to come over here so we can get this point over here. Enter. And enter. And enter again to get that point. So it's at 1, 4. So our answer that this is bigger when x is greater than, so x is greater than 1, or we can write it in interval notation where we have a soft bracket 1 to infinity. And that is it.